Okay, we are at the Bay Oval. Mount Maunganui.
The team are.
The team is there. The teams have reached Mount Maunganui, and luckily, the first update that I can give you is the weather is clear for the time being.
For the time being the keyword, because again, if you had been watching any of the updates that Rahul has bringing us from there, it did seem like there was a constant threat of rain which was kind of just lingering.
A couple of hours ago, when Rahul had given us that update from Bay Oval, it was pouring. He had to abandon one of his stories midway because
of the rain, exactly.
But now it's cloudy, and now the weather seems to be all right, although rain is forecast later in the day. We hope that stays there, because the first T20 in Wellington was abandoned even without a toss happening. So that is the thing. And what will India do? I mean, India had a good welcome. I mean, the traditional Maori Haka war dance, they got that welcome. You are at the Bay of Plenty, so you will get plenty of stuff at this point in time. If it rains, the Bay Oval's drainage system is okayish, not that great, but it is slightly better, but it is not better than Wellington, or you may say Auckland to a certain extent. So one hopes that the rain stays away. And the pitch, it was described by Ajay Jadeja in the press, in the pitch report, that it was green, the pitch was hard. Unlike all the other New Zealand wickets which are brown for T20Is and not that much of grass. Here there is grass and hard. So let's see how it develops at this point in time. Yes, we are just 3 to 4 minutes away from the toss, and New Zealand are on a high, if you may say, not for the cricket. But recently, after the T20 World Cup ended, the Black Ferns, the New Zealand Black Ferns, managed to win the Rugby World Cup in dramatic circumstances. And for women rugby players, it's been a shot in the arms, World Cup. And yeah, we have a World Cup also today, the start of the FIFA.
The FIFA World Cup does in fact have. And Akhilesh Kucheria, to answer your question, you can view the match on Amazon Prime. That's the one place that will be actually broadcasting. And if you're asking for a channel, then I think DD Sports would be your answer.
Well, we hope so. We hope so that it happens. And we are just a couple of minutes away from the toss that will happen. The toss will happen on time.
Thankfully.
The players were warming up. And what are the change? Because since we did not get to see any action in Wellington.
Yeah, this is as good as the series opener.
Yes.
Because really there was no action there. We didn't know a playing 11. We knew nothing. So really this is as close to a clean slate start that you're getting. Because again, nothing happened in that particular match of any
not
note.
Even the toss. Yep. So that is why you can only download the Amazon Prime app and view it. That's it. But yes, it will be very speculative. We'll be speculating the playing 11. In the previous match, we did speculate what could be the playing 11. I put out a statement saying that Shubman Gill will make his T20I debut.
Possible.
And it will be Providence, because 4 years earlier, Shubman Gill in the 2018 Under-19 World Cup announced himself at the same venue. So Shubman Gill making his debut, and we may see Ishan Kishan.
Yeah, I think he'd be the other alternative, the other opener, let's say.
Yes.
Otherwise, who are the options you realistically have? I think Sanju you'd be keeping lower down the order.
Yes, absolutely. But Sanju lower down the order once again deflates the entire purpose.
No, but I think, I agree with you. To be fair, he's a much better batsman at the top of the order. But if the board has already told him, look, you need to start working on being a finisher, then no time like the present to try him out as your finisher, given your designated finisher, Dinesh Karthik, not going to be in your scheme of things for too long, if at all. And, well, he's not here in this series, so no time like the present.
Yep, so my batting lineup for this T20I will be for India. I'll say Ishan Kishan, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, Sanju Samson, Hardik Pandya. That would be my 6. Unless Kishan sits out and Rishabh Pant opens.
That's a possibility.
That can happen, because see, Pant, you'll have to now try him out. If Sanju Samson's been told that, okay, you have to work on your finishing, maybe the BCCI has given a directive, or the management has given Pant the directive. hone your opening.
But I think we'd have known something about that maybe. And again, honestly, I get I get that a lot of people, I think myself included, I think it's a good idea if you try him there. But again, will it happen? I'm not sure. I don't know. I really don't know. If it does happen, though, great. Because again, I think that will be the one position where he's probably best suited to in limited overs cricket at least.
Indeed. The bowling lineup, well, I will say that Bhuvneshwar Kumar is an automatic slot in.
I think they might rest him. I don't know why. I think.
Then Umran gets a
Umran, I think, yeah.
Arshdeep is definitely...
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Because Arshdeep, the thing with him is he's not played as much international cricket. You don't want to be resting him for the sake of resting.
Yep. So, in that way, Arshdeep is a sure shot. Number 7, Harshal Patel. Because you may want to play 4 pacers on this wicket.
Can we open the squads? Because I'm a little, obviously there were a lot of squads announced when it was, announced. So I think I need to kind of remember what exactly the squads were, then I can make an option. And I wasn't there for the last match. I think the first match I ended up missing. So due to that, unfortunately, I'm not too refreshed with it. But generally speaking, just on the other link, So I want to see what the options are, because I think this is going to be a series now. Unfortunately, you would have had some time to actually kind of rotate, but
Oh, Deepak Hooda.
Washington Sundar, by the way, has to be playing. He has to be playing.
Not Deepak Hooda.
No, Washington Sundar.
Okay, because see, at least Hooda has had some game time. Washington Sundar hasn't any game time.
Yeah, but the problem is that if you're looking at a bowling option in T20Is, team management clearly rates Sundar's bowling far more than they do Deepak Hooda's bowling. Hooda, remember, didn't get a ball to bowl either in the Asia Cup or the World Cup. So I don't think they're looking at him as a pure as an all-rounder at this point. Maybe in ODIs, but even in ODIs, he might just be like a Yuvraj style all-rounder or a Yuvraj Raina style all-rounder, where you'll bowl a few overs here or there. If you do great, otherwise you're that perfect middle over filler. In T20Is, you don't need a bowler. That Sundar for me has to be starting at 7.
Play?
That's the interesting thing. Like when it comes to spinners, I would start with Yuzi first, because I think poor guy didn't get a game during the World Cup through no fault of his own. So actually, if you're looking at it, Washington Sundar is 7 for me. Then of course, this is no order, but the bowlers.
Okay.
And
we have Rahul.
Do we have Rahul with us here? He's on the phone. No, anyway. So the point is that Yuzi Chahal, I think, would be my main spinner. Of pacers, again, see, that's the thing. Umran, Arshdeep, and maybe Harshal. Because again, he's also someone who spent the entire World Cup campaign on the bench, didn't get a minute. And you clearly want to see him in the scheme of things. And to be fair, who are the other pacers there, really?
Siraj.
Exactly. Siraj is an interesting one.
Choosing the bowling combination on this wicket will be a tricky assignment.
It will, because you might want a little extra swing considering this cloud cover. You might just be tempted to stick with Bhuvneshwar. You might.
You will.
But again, death bowling, Harshal maybe for that. I don't know.
Well, your death bowling anyway is suffering.
Exactly. And to be fair, in the absence of Bumrah, it will pretty much suffer for a while. Is there any updates on the toss yet?
No, I mean, we were supposed to have the toss, but I think last minute, I think there are some things happening.
I hope
the toss hasn't happened yet. It's not raining though.
That seems to be one good thing, at least.
Yep. Maybe they're checking the outfield if it is.
Because if it's too wet, then they'll delay the toss also. That's also a possibility.
But I'm seeing that most of the players, and even from both New Zealand and England and India, they're all practicing. They're having their throwdowns.
I remember even there were pictures which the BCCI put out on socials where they showed the bowlers bowling. So I don't think it can be that wet.
Anyway, it's toss time.
Oh, it's toss time, finally.
It is toss time. Kane Williamson and Hardik Pandya at the toss.
Let's see what exactly I think again, if you win the toss here, you'd 100% want to be bowling first. No two ways about it. I think I'm more interested to see what happens with the squads, because again, it's a very experimental squad. A lot of players who you see as future prospects. Who gets to start? Especially because unfortunately one match actually got washed out. So what do you go for? But let's see. And the coin toss, just put it to the side.
Kane Williamson has won the toss. Hardik Pandya has won the toss.
Oh, Hardik Pandya. No.
It's Kane.
So Kane Williamson, 100% he's going to choose to bowl, I think.
Yes, Kane Williamson's won the toss. And we are just awaiting to see what I think he said bowl.
There we go. Anyway, that's just his name, Aston. Anyway,
Yes, Kane Williamson has chosen to bowl apparently.
it seems pretty likely that he would want to bowl again. Rain, you always want to know.
Yeah, there is a rain threat looming by the way towards the end of the match, but we hope by that time it just.
And there we go. They opt to bowl.
They opt to bowl.
Again, no surprises there. Really no
Yes.
surprises. Although I think it's a bit of an interesting time, if you look at it for New Zealand, because again, they are missing, a couple of players. The likes of they've chosen to sit out Martin Guptill. Trent Bolt is no longer going to be a regular part of the side because he's no longer centrally contracted to New Zealand cricket. So I think even for them, they're going to be, trying to make a few, fill one hole. At least with Guptill, you can say, yeah, you have the likes of Finn Allen and who's the other? They have another top order batsman. Devon Conway, yeah. At least you're sorted there. And to be fair, Guptill didn't play a minute during the World Cup. Bolt, on the other hand, he has big boots to fill for sure.
Yes, indeed. So it'll be very interesting to see what's the team composition for both, because let's just hope it's not a very symmetric progression. In Wellington, you didn't even have the toss, the match got abandoned. Here, the toss has happened. We hope that we get a game.
Yeah, even if it's even if it has to go there, if there's a little bit of rain, hopefully it's not a cancelled game, because that would be a real dampener.
That would be a dampener.
You already had one match fully washed out without even having a toss, never mind a ball being bowled.
Yep. So that is how it is. Hardik Pandya, he did captain.
He's captain India.
Ireland.
He captained 2 matches Ireland, and if I'm not wrong, 1 match in the West Indies. I think the last match, remember, they rested a lot of players. When the likes of Ishan Kishan got a game and Kuldeep Yadav got a game, and they rested everyone.
Yep.
So Hardik had captained there also. So he's had 3 matches in the past where he's captained India, and I think India won all of them.
Yes. So Hardik Pandya has got and we have the team sheet right here.
Wonderful.
Hardik Pandya, Ishan Kishan, Rishabh Pant, Surya Kumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer, Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Siraj, Yajuvendra Chahal, no Sanju, no Umran, no Kuldeep.
No Sanju's a
No
bit of a
Harshal,
shock.
no Shubman.
No Sanju's a bit of a shock, admittedly.
And we may have 2 left-handers opening. Ishan Kishan, Rishabh Pant, Surya Shreyas, or maybe Shreyas could open, Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, 3
So again, then you're not saying Hooda is a bowling option, I'm telling you. Washington will be that 6th bowling option, because you have 3 spacers full time.
Yep.
Then you have Hardik, you have a spinner, and then you have your part-time spinner Yuzi. So I think
Wow, no Shubman Gill.
no. Again, I think for now he's seen more as a one-day player. I think that's the perception. And to be fair, he's gotten a regular run of matches in the ODI format.
And he's been very consistent.
Yeah, I think he was very unlucky to miss out on a century against the Windies, if I'm not wrong. Remember, there was rain issues.
But he did hit a century against Zimbabwe.
Afterwards, yes. But remember, against West Indies, he had a very good knock. Unfortunately, he couldn't convert that. And then, of course, yes, as you say, Zimbabwe, he got that. So I think for ODIs, he's definitely going to be one to watch. T20Is maybe just has to bide his time. But that especially if they are wedded to the idea of trying to get Pant as an opener. By the way, Pant Kishan, interesting, because both of them have opened together as a pairing for India under 19s, 2016.
The batch of 2016 has finally come together after 6 years.
And at the positions where they were batting at that point. Can we just refresh the page? I want to see what New Zealand's squad is also.
Yeah, I mean, New Zealand will probably stick with that.
Let's just go down.
Yep. And okay, no.
Oh, we don't have. Then, upar.
Yes.
No, they don't have this thing. Oh, and
Okay,
we
and
are.
Rahul is there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Nikhil. Hi, Nikhil.
Are we
Can you
audible?
hear us? No, we can't hear you, Nikhil.
Oh.
Can't hear him.
Jim, just check.
Adam Mills. Can you hear us now, Nikhil?
I can hear you.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
now we
Great.
can hear you.
Finally.
Now we can hear you. So, Nikhil.
No, I could hear you earlier as well.
Great.
I think you guys were not able to.
We
hear me.
the feeder was down.
So the team is very interesting. The Indian team. So they've gone in with 2 spinners. We were debating in that 11 when we were making whether India would go in with those 2 spinners. And when we were looking at the 2 spinners, we had effectively picked Deepak Hooda and Yuzi Chahal. But now, actually, it looks
spinners.
like 3 spinners.
Correct.
Because if you take a look at Deepak Hooda, I was just getting to that. So if you look at Deepak Huda, he is your third spinner, and then I wonder whether he's going to bowl or not. Not sure. Does Hardik Pandya continue from what Rohit Sharma thought about Deepak Huda as an all-rounder, or does Hardik Pandya, captain his own way? In which case you might see Deepak Huda also being used as another bowling option. So you've got three fast bowlers in Arshdeep, Siraj and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. So no game time for Umran Malik. And I think when we were picking the 11, it was pretty much this fast bowling attack that we had picked. I think between Siraj, you could have looked at, if not Umran, who are the other options? I think
Harshal is the only other option.
Harshal Patel, yeah, that's a bit surprising. Harshal, they haven't gone in with Harshal. So you would have thought that people who were part of that T20 squad, they would have been given a chance, as Deepak Huda has been given a chance. So you thought Harshal might get in, but I guess they're also playing conditions. So with that in mind, they haven't gone in with someone like Harshal Patel. So Arshdeep, Bhuvaneshwar, your sort of bowlers that are going to swing the ball, and then Siraj as well. He was as a backup bowler in the T20 World Cup. He comes in. Yuzi Chahal finally gets a game. So we get to see the best T20 spinner in India for the last 4-5 years finally play a T20 game for India. That's a big relief. And then interesting that they've drafted in Washington Sundar as well. So let's take a look at that batting. By the way, again, we were talking, remember that there's no harm in going in with two left-handed openers.
Yes.
If you can go in with two right-handed openers, I think they've gone in with two left-handed openers in Rishabh Pant and Ishan Kishan, with Surya Kumar Yadav and Shreyas Iyer, Deepak Huda, Hardik Patel making up your middle order. So interesting. I think the biggest talking point, and maybe we can talk about each of those selections first. But I think let's start with no place for Sanju Samson.
I was surprised.
I would have tried to have fit him into that 11.
Yes.
But I guess the problem that the Indian team has right now is like too many wicket-keeping batting options. But even if you had those many options, you could have still looked at someone like a Sanju Samson. So I'm a bit surprised that Sanju doesn't make the cut. But I don't know, what does everyone think on Sanju Samson?
No, I was totally expecting. In fact, when Sid and I were discussing it beforehand, I said that you're probably not playing Deepak Huda if you have Washington Sundar, because I think Sundar would be your designated second spinner. Also, someone can play in the power plays. So I said, if not Huda, I said 100% they'd be trying Sanju now, because BCCI has told him, look, practice as a finisher. And no time like the present to try him out. So very surprised that he doesn't make it. Umran also a little bit surprised, but yeah, okay. I can understand that there are others who are probably, in the pecking order, ahead in the pecking order.
See, you had to play Sanju Samson at the top.
No, but Sanju Samson, I think, was batting
5-6
lower down the order. In the recent one-day series, I think, when he was playing for India, he got to bat, and then he mentioned in that interview that he has been told that's where he needs to play.
Exactly.
So he could have still fitted in. What I think the biggest talking point or the biggest takeaway now, just looking at the 11, is that India have gone in with 7 bowling options. So they've got the 3 fast bowlers, then they've got Hardik Pandya, then they've got 2 spinners, that makes it 6, and then Deepak Huda.
Right.
So 7 bowling options. And in terms of batting, so let's take a look at the batting. So there's Kishan to open, Sky at 3, Shreyas at 4, Hardik at 5, and Huda at 6. Whichever way they can change, right? And then Washington Sundar comes in at 7. Is that correct? Now,
yes.
Now the biggest difference that you see in this regime to the previous regime is that the previous regime kind of bet big on their batting. So they were not even happy with their number 8. So while the previous regime looked at number 8 having some sort of batting where they were insisting that let's have someone like an Ashwin, because they were looking at, this regime has gone with a Washington Sundar at number 7, who's more of a bowling all-rounder. So they are okay. So the first thing that the change in selection tells you, they are okay with number 6 or like 6 batsmen. They're fine with it. They're not panicking over having number 7 and number 8 as someone who can give them cushion. Of course, Washington is no mug with a bat, as he's shown in test matches also and in the IPL. I agree. But I'm still saying it's a bowling order. So first thing they've shown is that they're okay with their batting being thin, but they want their bowling lineup to be much stronger. So that's the first thing that you notice.
Yes, I mean, the Sanju Samson debate continues to polarize a lot of people. I mean, what is he going to be in the team if you have to look at the blueprint? Is he going to be a top order guy, middle order, or finisher?
See,
I think
say
at
finisher.
number 5-6, it suits him for ODIs. But for T20Is, whether that position is good, I don't know. Because he's never batted in that position in T20Is.
हाँ वो देना selfie stick.
Oh, have we?
And we also have Rahul.
Wonderful.
We do?
Yes, we do, yep. Hi Rahul.
Can you hear us? I don't think we're on the line here.
I don't think we can listen.
Hello.
Hello Rahul, can you
Hi
hear
Rahul,
us?
can you hear
I
us?
can hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful.
Very ठीक है जी.
Okay, so are you all wet?
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
You might want to rephrase that.
Yeah.
Okay, Rahul, can you hear us?
Yes, he's there. We can see him now.
But I think he's still trying to.
No, but I think it's once again, it's hung.
To be fair, I mean.
So that is why my main problem with Sanju is number 5, number 6. If you want to bat him there, in a
Yeah, let me just
T20,
fix this frame.
he's wasted. That is my problem.
Correct, you're right. But again, and this is what I don't understand. You know, you talk about clarity of thought. Sanju has said very clearly that look, BCCI have told me to train as a finisher.
Yeah.
So if you're going to tell someone to take up this thing like start preparing, training, specializing for that role, and then in this sort of a match you're not playing him where your designated finisher is not there. It doesn't make much sense to me. And again, the Deepak Hooda conundrum. I again understand keeping Deepak Hooda if you want him as a bowling option, but clearly you're not seeing him as that because you have Washington Sundar there as well. So I don't know what the thinking is here.
Bagged.
Indeed. So do we have Rahul finally with us? Rahul,
Yes.
Good evening.
Yes, Siddharth. Good evening. Yeah. Good evening is
yes.
the right word.
So the weather is playing
you
hide
guys
and seek
still
at Bay Oval, right? Because when you came in, it rained. Then towards the evening, it stopped. Today also, it rained, and now it stopped. What do you think? Will the weather stay away today, or do you think rain is expected later in the night?
Well, to be very honest, in fact, just 5 minutes ago, the sun was out, and in fact, ever since the rain stopped, you know, everybody was very optimistic that the match will happen, and it seemed because in New Zealand it does happen. I don't know. I saw Nikhil also. If Nikhil is already there, he's been to this place earlier, and you know, a lot of people would tell you even if it is raining, and it rained for almost 2 hours in the morning. In the morning when I stepped out of my hotel room, it was all. Hi, Paji. Oh, Paji. Paji, we are just live. This is, of course, no need to give.
Live? खड़े live?
Paji, आज
कौन है?
ये
विक्रांत है नहीं?
नहीं, विक्की पाजी नहीं है. Nikhil is there and
Chopra?
Nikhil, not Chopra. Nikhil Naz.
Mr. Naz.
अरे where is Nikhil Naz?
Mr. Naz.
I think I.
मेरे को नहीं सुनाई देगा ना वो.
Yeah. Paji, I'll see you around.
Oh, Ajay.
Nice.
Hello, Ajay. Hello.
That is there.
Yeah. Paji, कहीं से भी. I can't show that part of the ground.
Huh?
Paji, everywhere. हाँ. Chalo, so so that was Ajay Jadeja. Of course, we bumped into each other earlier. Anyways, yeah, we have I rotated the screen? Do I need to switch it?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. So yeah. So you know, when I stepped out of my hotel room, it was pretty bright and sunny. So I just took this t-shirt out and stepped out of my hotel room, and then just an hour later it started to rain, and thereafter it was raining cats and dogs. Then a couple of hours, and actually at that point in time I thought, I don't know if the match would happen or not, but the locals here, in fact the cab drivers, also told me you never know because it's usually like this. It's the Bay Area. You have the ocean. I think the Pacific Ocean. My geography is too bad. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this, next to this Mount Magnolia. So there's this ocean. So and it was windy also. So that makes things easier. And that was one of the reasons why people were so optimistic. And look at the scenes here now. If I can just show you the ground. Of course, the broadcasters are, of course, our friends. So I hope they won't see.
Indeed.
The best thing about grounds in New Zealand is that you are so close to the live action that you can you can virtually speak to the players. They're right in front of you. Then it also makes the ground facilities or the field of play very accessible to the people also. But then there's a $10,000 fine. So if you are, if you want to just run into the ground where the players are playing, So if you just manage to sneak past the security, because to be very honest, you don't find too many security officials also here. Everybody is of course very courteous. So even if you manage to get into that field of play, be ready to shell out those 10,000 New Zealand dollars from your pocket. Yeah.
We hope you're carrying that. We hope you're carrying that cash, huh?
$10,000 because at the immigration counter we were told that you can't carry more than you have to declare if you're carrying $10,000 cash, more than $10,000 cash. And as it is, I'm surviving on some very low funds. So
Surviving on low funds in New Zealand.
But Rahul, now you're being humble.
Humble in New Zealand.
I'm being
humble.
Now you're just being humble.
Humble? Yeah. Poor man will always be humble.
Rahul, I think you may have gotten the team news. There is no Sanju Samson. There is no Umran Malik.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by the team selection that you'll have two left-handers opening today for India?
Ishan Kishan and
Rishabh Pant.
Rishabh Pant. I thought, to be very honest, the choice was between Shubman Gill, Rishabh Pant and Ishan Kishan. I honestly thought that it could be a left-right combination between Shubman Gill and perhaps Ishan Kishan and Rishabh Pant. But I think they might have made the right call. See, the boundaries here are very short.
Yeah.
And secondly, Shubman Gill, I think they are looking at him, at Shubman Gill as a one-day opener.
Exactly.
So next year in 2024, in 2023, when you have the ODI World Cup, on one end, opening the Indian innings could be Shubman Gill, and at the other end, it could be Rohit Sharma. Or maybe we thought that it would be a toss-up between Shubman Gill and Shikhar Dhawan, but next year it could be Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill opening the innings. Here, I think they may have asked him and it's not a bad ploy, especially here in New Zealand with those short boundaries. Rishabh Pant is a power hitter. Ishan Kishan is somebody who likes to. Who also likes to hit clean, and with those short boundaries, I think they do get an advantage. As far as Sanju Samson is concerned, Shreyas Iyer has been playing consistently, although it doesn't make a difference with this Indian setup because, you might play throughout the year, but eventually when the time comes, when you have an ICC event, there's a possibility that you might not even
take him
be there in the ICC tournament. So Shreyas Iyer, in fact, was playing a lot of cricket. Then Sanju Samson, although everybody is saying it's the dawn of a new era. I thought Sanju Samson could have gotten a place there, but then that would have been a choice between Sanju Samson and Shreyas Iyer. So they took Shreyas Iyer there.
Okay, because there is still questions why Sanju not in the team who scored 77 runs, but meet Sony, it was Ireland. We respect that, but yes, too many batsmen at the top of the order.
Top, yeah.
And Rahul, do you think if you play Sanju, where should you bat him? At the top or at number 5 or 6 in T20Is, if you had to look at it?
Yeah, in T20s, I'll bat him up the order. To be very honest, I think he's far too talented. Although in ODI setup, you have a top heavy side where you have somebody like Rohit Sharma, then maybe a Shikhar Dhawan or Shubman Gill. Then you have Virat Kohli. So the only place that is left for Sanju Samson was in the lower middle order, and that is the place that he got when India last played against South Africa in the ODIs, and he did fairly well. So I think because you remember, you also have somebody like KL Rahul, who in ODIs has been playing in the middle order.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But pace bowl, I mean, if you look at the bowling composition, Rahul, 3 spinners for this Bay Oval deck. I mean, you have Deepak Hooda, you have Washington Sundar, and you have Yuzi Chahal.
Yeah.
Yuzi Chahal finally playing a game for India, although in the wrong series, he should have played in the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
But then 3 spinners on this wicket, do you think it's a good call?
I don't think they'll see him as a spinner.
Is Rahul with us?
Rahul.
No, there's a bit of a technical
he's
issue.
frozen.
But to be answer your question,
of October, right? India's first game a month
Yes,
and a half.
yes, 23rd.
This will be his first competitive cricket match. I think there's some problem with the network.
Yeah, you froze for a bit, Rahul, but you're now back.
I think there's some issue with the network.
I think there's a bit of a lag.
yeah.
Yeah?
Happens at stadiums. Happens.
Yep. There are jammers.
Yep.
There's so many people using the network around the same area.
Network clash as well.
Indeed. So 3 spinners. That's what I was going to ask Rahul. 3 spinners
So
on
there's
this
Hooda,
field.
there is Washington, and there is Yuzi.
Yuzi.
I don't think Deepak Hooda is getting a bowl.
Pradeep Srivalsan, very naughty, man. Very naughty. You have to give Bhuvi credit. I mean, he bowled some inspirational spells in the World Cup also.
Yeah.
So that is why.
He's having a good time.
Yep. So that is about it. We are about 4 minutes away, and we'll try and get Rahul back from the Bay Oval if we can online. But yeah, Jaideep, I mean, see, if Pant plays, Sanju, I think may not play.
I don't know. See, that's the thing.
Difficult to fit the.
I don't
Also,
think
Pant's
so.
a vice
Again,
captain.
yeah, no. I think in this team, if you're, and again, this really talks about what is the message then given to a Sanju? You're told him train to be a finisher. He's trained to be a finisher, and then is again on exactly. So in this game, I think the choice,
like you said, that you said that maybe Hooda will not be given the ball. If Hooda is not given the ball,
playing him makes no sense.
And then Sanju Samson says, "I've been trained to be the finisher." Then there's a clash.
Yeah, because I think the
Then
choice
you're not
between
sticking to your word.
exactly the choice of the middle order should be between Hooda and Shreyas. If you've picked one, the other cannot be playing. Harsh as it may seem.
Yeah.
So here you've played both of them, and there's no Sanju.
Also, I thought both of them should play up the order because
you can't play lower. Hooda was a good lower order batsman maybe 4 years back. Now he's pretty set as someone who will be batting at 3-4 at best. So I don't know.
Look, again, I think you are setting the base for more chaos.
Yeah.
That's why I said your supply has totally outscored demand.
Demand, correct.
There are too many players.
See, that will always be the case with Indian cricket.
Then you have.
But then the US selectors need to take the hard calls.
Then the selectors will have to have a new course. They have to study something new called player management. Surprising bot.
Where to watch
We
a
hope
TV?
it's on,
Amazon Prime. That's the place where you will get all of it, right?
We
Tissue
hope
box.
it's on DD Sports, but I think it's only on Amazon.
Yeah, so Tissue Box has an interesting question. He says that Kuldeep's T20I stats are phenomenal. Why does he rarely play, especially considering India are lacking potent wicket-taking spinners? Actually, we do have potent wicket-taking spinners. Yuzi Chahal sat out the entire World Cup. As for Kuldeep, the problem was he lost a lot of form.
He
but
didn't
then
lose form.
And
He
then
got injured at the
and then also when he finally did start finding his form, He ended up getting an injury in the
decent
worst
IPL
time
for him.
possible. Oh, good, very good IPL, but he got injured just before that South Africa series, and that really messed up his chances. Because after that, you knew for a fact you're not playing two full-time spinners in Australia. One spinner would be your part-time, bowler who
Imagine you had Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzachel. Okay, what was India's main reason why they dominated in that period of 2016 to 19, kind of until the World Cup?
Kulcha.
Kulcha.
But that was predominantly at home.
That was also
You will not
in Australia.
The one series in South Africa.
Right.
And also
The
Australia.
cumulative took about 34, 35 wickets. One took 18, the other took 17.
And remember, Kuldeep and Yajwendra Chahal, left arm, right arm, and bowling brilliantly in
But I
the
think
depth.
we're past that. We're past that. Unless we're playing in India, I don't see the two of them playing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chahal, he should have played in the World Cup, but he's playing here. I mean, that is one of the biggest mysteries that we have ever gotten in our lives.
Again, going back to Nikhil's tweet, it will be one of the unresolved
Mysteries.
of
Yep.
the
But you're setting the ground for more chaos. I can see it now. Already, 2024, when you're building up for the T20 World Cup, at that time you will see, why no Sanju? Why no Umran? Why no Ishan? I mean, why no?
You will need a finisher then also. Let's hope it's Sanju.
If you persist with Deepak Hooda, then give him more chances. If you don't, and you use only one aspect of his skill, you're wasting.
I'm actually worried for Deepak over here. I don't know if he's seen as a utility player.
Or seen as what exactly? There's no idea.
Because see, if you're not bowling him,
Is
and
that
you're not
Pant
batting
coming
up
out
the
of it?
order.
Pant and this thing, oh wonderful. So Pant and Ishan Kishan, I think opening together for the first time since
For the
2016. No, they've done it in under 19 cricket.
All right.
They have. In fact, they were India's openers during that 2016 World Cup, where I think India lost in the semis.
No,
Was
they
it?
lost in the final. to
Oh right,
West
final,
Indies.
right, yes.
Yeah.
I think, was that the same year when Chemo Paul...
Kimo Paul, and there was also, I think, one more guy, Obed McCoy.
Oh.
I think that was the year of McCoy and Shimron Hetmeyer, I think.
Yeah, I think that 2016 had some good players even for the Windies, if you look
West
at it.
Indies had a hat-trick of wins in that 1 month. They had won the Under-19 World Cup. The women's team ended Australia's hegemony in the T20 World Cup.
And then, of course, the men's team won the...
Carlos, remember the name?
Brathwaite.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's just quickly go some score predictions because the match is actually about to start, thankfully on time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, it's cloudy, but I think the rain might stay away at the Bay Oval. Although,
For the time being.
for the
It's-
timing, because we don't know.
Yes.
We really don't know.
Yes.
yep. So,
It's been
predictions.
stop-start. It's been
predictions.
stop-start,
Predictions,
yeah?
please.
You start with Shane?
I think I'll go 161 for India. I think India will win because I don't expect the conditions to ease up for batting.
Well, I will go with the score that India lost in Adelaide, 168. But I
Ish.
think it will be a good total in Bay Oval.
Right.
But again, if it rains, the New Zealand batting
Will
has
be
got
in tough.
tremendous depth. No?
And not just that, but of course, rain adjusted targets can always be a little bit tricky.
Yes. And Pant is only 30 runs away from 1000 T20I runs.
Yeah, interesting.
Strike rate of 127.
So that is very underwhelming for him.
Very
underwhelming
Yep.
for him.
We hope this is a new start for Pant.
Yeah.
Because we don't want too many conundrums about, but Pant was not in form, that's why he got to win. Oh, that guy was not in form, that's why he got to win.
Our Pant's backup was not in form, so we got in Pant's backup's backup.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
And we have Timothy Grant Southey, and he's going to open the bowling.
I think with regards to my prediction, I think India are finishing with just about 160. I have my
160.
fears. I have my fears about India going with
Okay.
this first match now.
Yep, and Ishan Kishan will take straight to Tim Southey.
Interesting, very interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll see you guys
Two slips in place.
Yeah,
Flips in.
interesting. Of course, I think they're expecting some early movements.
Southey will get some movement. at the
Cloud
start.
cover helps a lot also.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll see you guys middle of the innings. At least, thankfully we're getting a match today.
We are getting a match.
Unlike last time.
Absolutely,
So don't forget, join us. And of course, if there's any rain interruptions, you know for a fact you can find us. We'll be there bringing you all the updates from this particular series.
Yep.
Thank you guys once again. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, comment, tap the bell icon, and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram too. Bye bye
Yep.
from all three
Bye.
of us.
Vanakkam.